Now to the race for the White House, Vice President Kamala Harris is preparing for her first and likely her only sit-down interview of the election today. While the new poll shows her gaining ground on President Trump in a number of critical states. We're going to bring in Morgan McKay right now for more to break this down. Morgan, this is fascinating to me. First of all, the whole campaign is fascinating, but her campaign is trying to spin this however way they can. They just cannot run from the criticism that maybe they don't believe in her political ability. That's why they're doing this joint interview.
So joint interviews have happened before in politics. Trump sat down with Mike Pence when they were running. Obama sat down with Biden when they were running. So this happens. I think this is caught people by a little bit of surprise, considering that you're having both of them for this first one.
Sure.
But her campaign today really highlighting the fact that she has sat down for about 80 interviews so far this year. That was, of course, when she was vice president, and she was there defending the Biden administration's policies. So this gives people and voters a real chance to really get to terms on where she stands on really important issues, and not just immigration, because she's sort of outlined her policies there, but it's all scripted, so there's still a lot of questions there.
I was going to say, what are they counting as interviews? Because I know the fact that when we saw the DNC, she didn't do any sit-down of major legacy media network. She did a TikTok interview with someone. Is that what they're counting as interviews?
I think so. Yeah, the 80 interviews that they were talking about there was when she was vice president, and they are including not just traditional media. They're talking about podcasts, TikTokers, that sort of thing. But she does have a lot of questions or answers that she needs to give in terms of not just immigration, also fracking. That's been a big issue that's kind of coming up. The Trump campaign pointing to her running in 2020 and how she wanted to support a ban on fracking, and now her campaign is saying she doesn't support a full ban on fracking, probably really looking at Pennsylvania, which is going to be an important state that they win. So she has a lot of questions that she's going to need to answer today. So it's going to be interesting. And that gets taped this afternoon, and then it's going to air later tonight.
Interesting. I'm sure a lot of people will be watching that. Let's talk about the polls right now. I know you have an updated number on a Fox poll that's showing that this race is still neck and neck.
Yeah, so Fox News released a new poll for battleground states, and there's no clear lead right now in terms of numbers. It's all within the margin of error. So right now they are, at least both campaigns are really doing a hard push in these battleground states. And the big kind of numbers here that I really took out of it, more women preferred Harris, more men preferred Trump. Also by a 7-point margin, more voters see Harris as a candidate who will unite the country. And then also when it comes to two of the top 3 issues for voters this year, which is the economy and immigration, Trump is really leading there. And then, of course, Harris is leading on abortion.
I feel like a lot of these things could change after we watch how the interview goes. So you're going to have to come back and give us an update on your breakdown and what your thoughts on it.
And the debate, September 7th.
Absolutely. All right, Morgan, thanks so much.
Thank you.